Why, hello there, YouTube. We are back with some more match play commentary for y'all. I am joined by the Brother Bear, the Highwayman, Kaiju King himself, some might call him, TJ.
I'm not the Kaiju King anymore. My brain is so cooked. I'm just, don't mind me. I'm chefing.
But, as you folks know, we've got EX9 coming out, so we've got a lot of, like, are they calling it the DM release event or whatever it may be, right? It's like a special Digital Monster Day where there's a lot of like pre-release-esque stuff, or basically essentially a pre-release for EX9. So in order to get ahead of that, we've figured we get some cam games going for you folks. We're going to be wrapping up our BT-21 stuff soon, and we're going to try to get EX9 stuff as quickly as possible up on the channel for you folks. So do be on the lookout for it. But for now, we're gonna try to wrap up some of our BT-21 things with good old Megidramon, played by TJ on the right, and I'm playing Hunters over here on the left. These are in the cam game format, so if there's any feedback for this, just let us know. We've been doing it for a little bit, but just in case you guys are wanting us to fine-tune stuff, this will probably be a staple on the channel every now and then as we try to get some filler matches for you folks. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit us up on our socials, which will also be linked in the video description. That'll include the link to our Discord, which is probably the best place to find the deck lists, both for BT-21 and EX9. We've got a lot of well, not we, TJ has been chefing a lot for EX9. I've been taking a little bit of a backseat because there hasn't been a ton that perks my interest, but I know you've got a ton of stuff cooked for EX9, which will probably be up on the channel too, as we jump into the new set in the next week or so. So hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. Check it out. But I've done enough yapping, only to do some more yapping. Let's hop right into the round.
I'll be so happy when Megidra gets hit.
I'm gonna be so ready to be out of this.
I saw a couple people on Twitter today talking about how they're like kind of tired of this meta, yeah. And I will never be a person that sits here and goes, oh, the card game's on, because it's not. I think factually it's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, they're planned all the way up to BT-26. They've said, which is
right.
Just goes to show that how much they believe like in the game sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't blame people for getting tired of metas when it's stuff like this.
Yeah. You're kind of doing the classic Megidra line, right? You're training into a Growl, go Growl X. A lot of Megidra players, good Megidra players such as yourself, this is a very common opening line, right? You just go ahead, get some early chip damage in, build up your trash. You can play out another Geel to have another body on board, which is honestly just pressure, right? Like if I don't deal with that Geelmon that gets spit out by Growl X, typically you just go up the line again.
Yeah. Here, I'm just trying to decide what I want to grab. I was thinking about grabbing one of the Growl X's because I did reveal 2 there, but I was like, you know what? I can just cycle this one back off the Gigi egg. So I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just send him back. I needed a Megidra because I was missing one in hand. And because potentially next turn I could just go into Megidra if the stack didn't get dealt with. So that's why I was like, I should just take that and have it now.
But I go up into a Gumdra in the back, finally see my rookie, and I'm like, well, the best I can do is just choke to 1. I might as well get some tamer advantage out of it. It's not, I don't love seeing 2 king versions go away, but at this point I'm like, yeah, might as well just get the tamer out there while I can. And you're able to just see the line into a scramble, go into a War Growl, which will be able to swing and do some big damage here.
I've unfortunately not put any cards in your trash yet.
That's true.
Because of save. True. So I do swing going to Megidra. I'll go ahead and I'll do the 2 checks, which I just had Tamer Crimson Blaze, which Crimson Blaze was really tough.
Yeah.
Really end of attack, delete everything, you know, Megidra goodness. I only have 1 memory gain in there. I'll trash out card of security, nothing to spit out. But I can at least add a card back, so I'll just grab the Growl X back and then call it a day.
Mm-hmm. And here I'm like, well, I gotta do something. Keeping in mind that I don't want to give you too many resources, but at the same time, I'm also looking at a board where it's like I have 1 security and you have 5. Right. So I do need to at least try to do something. And the fact that I have a Watchmaker ready to go also was like one of those things where I'm like, well, you know what? Might as well go for it. You know, if I can get some aggression going, it's never a bad thing. So we go ahead and go into the BT-21 arrestor, drop a BT-12 Toggy, use Watchmaker to give 2 checks. Unfortunately, did not see a BT-21 arrestor here because I think I end up going into the 12 arrestor. Yep. 21 arrestor would have been huge here. Being able to get 4 checks in and just kind of push damage would have been a little bit nicer, so to speak. At big numbers here, I'm kind of banking on him living just at 12.
Right.
But I am able to just reset my hand essentially. And we die on the second check.
Yeah, you do hit a gallant, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is a little tough. I mean, I don't get to activate your scramble if I just play out a tamer here, which is what I think I end up going for. I did have a Darktra Ace in hand, which I think ideally I would have been like, okay, we'll swing, we'll do the 2 checks, get some aggression in, hopefully live the 4 if I end up going for that second like round of swings, and then Darktra Ace next turn. But even then, I don't think Darktra really stops you there with how set up you are at this point.
Yeah, I just do 2 craft crushes. I go into a growl, set up trash more. I was counting trash before to see how much you had, and I think we were at like 24 cards in trash before I started doing all this. Swing, I live the check, but then I do have a calling just to pop. I would just grab 2 cards back, and then I just play out a rush deal. But yeah, so we go game 2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just dumb how consistent Megidra can just put the pressure on like that. It's just like, it's insane.
Yeah,
how fast it is and how free it does everything.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of folks have talked about Growl X being a problem card, which, I mean, I do see that, right? I'm not saying it's not a problem card. I definitely think it's a problem card. I think the rush deal, with how easily the memory gauge is manipulated right now, definitely, I think is an issue to a degree, right? And I think it's both of these cards are issues. One, because purple as an archetype spits out bodies very easily and very efficiently. But I think the bigger culprit, which I think we can all agree on, is like Graph Crush, right? Like just free memory. Multiple instances of it is just, I mean, it's just, there's no way you can play around that outside of putting out memory blockers, but this deck just eats them for breakfast. So it doesn't even matter unless you have a board of like 5 of them.
Yeah, it is. It does. It's pretty crazy. it's just kind of crazy.
So I would be very, very surprised if on the next ban list, whenever that happens, I'm not saying we're gonna get one soon, but whenever it does end up being a thing, I would be very, very surprised if Graph Crush survives that list.
I mean, I don't think it will. This guy, there's got to be no way. If it does, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I agree. You do some nice choke in here. You choke me to 1. You go into a level 4 in the back.
You're debating what you want to do. You can just go ahead and go into...
Yeah, because I think here, I'm like, it feels bad going into him in the back because I lose out on the free tamer, and I had a couple Tagiroos in hand. But I was just like, if I push up, there's no way I keep turn, and there's a very fair chance that I just die. My body just goes away. I don't have a rookie to go into, so I'm like, I don't want to waste it. I'm just going to Evo in the back and hope, you know, I can kind of draw into some other stuff later on.
Yeah, that makes sense. So go ahead. I just do a chip, and then I play out a boost, and it goes back over to you. You have some resources to work with.
Go ahead and declare the Evo into said arrestor here. Go ahead and swing over the fella, which will pierce through, and you gain 1. Play out the rush deal off of that.
And I forgot to do the piercing check right away, but I catch it on this. So I do the first piercing check now because I forgot about it, which is a training, and then the second check with a boost.
I'm like, oh. Well.
Yeah, that was unlucky. The security was doing me favors. That's the crazy thing about Megidra too. Is like you can, even if you are faster than them and you push aggression on them, you might just make it worse on yourself if you don't kill them right away.
Yep.
Like it's insane. It's just crazy.
Well, because it's one of 2 things, right? You either do some early aggression, get some chip damage in and help set up trash, or you do some chip damage and do what I did, which is just give you a boost and a training, which I'm like, okay, well, I thought about maybe trying to like cross up for 1 and just choke, but I'm like, if I've already given you a boost and a training, I'm like, there's no point in me playing a cross up and just passing over 1. I might as well just give you 3. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, so I just did some setup. I dropped a rush keel. Go back
Yeah, I
over
think
here.
you were
Just
saying the
do
same
more
thing
stuff
too,
as
right?
well.
Where it's like, if I can't game this turn, I'm just gonna like wait till I can, which I think was
Yeah,
absolutely the smart play. Because you know that I
I need
probably
more.
can't game you here, so
Right. That was my one thing is I saw you weren't at 4 tamers yet to work off of Watchmaker. So I was like, if I choke to 1, there's pretty much no way you can get to the 4 tamer mark you need to get to. So I cracked both boosts, but I'm like, I need to win this turn because I do lose next turn if I don't do something. Even if I clear board here, there's a good chance I still lose. So I training, get the pop into, or go into the ground, get the pop, go Growl X, draw. Looking at what I want to pitch here, I think still. I do just pitch a. Nope, I have to not do that one. Okay, do this. Go ahead and grab crush. I'm like, you know what? Might as well end it this turn, so just gotta do what I can. Go into that guy for 2 because of the scramble.
Mm.
And I think I was at 13 cards in trash at this point.
Yep.
You had 1.
I had 1. It's a little
Okay,
dumb
so
man.
one little fellow so far. Do the Evo into Megidra.
I do Dark Ray Ace. I will
here.
correct the memory in a sec because I think we talked that over. I do so. Yep, you're at
Yeah.
2. We Dark Ray Ace. So at this point, I'm like, I think I'm in trouble if this Dark Ray gets dealt with, which it very well could. But I also was like, I don't want to deal with having no board and you doing what 3 checks with the Megidra, 2 off the swing and the 1 off the trash.
If you let it through, I think I just win. Like
Outright, I kind of have to force you to win here and have you see what you need to see, or hope you don't have what you need, and give myself another turn. Because I think next turn I think was in a good spot. Yeah. Because I had a 21 arrestor, another Toggy, and then I could have just Watchmaker for game.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Full disclaimer, I do a little bit of wonky stuff here. Ben is kind enough to let me kind of reassess my plays and like kind of go back and forth because I was like, I was in analysis paralysis and I was missing a few things in the think tank. So, just a full heads up.
Well, while you kind of ponder over stuff here, right? Like EX9, I think should be good. Because granted, it's not gonna be like a game-changing set. I don't know why my camera is like constantly like focusing here. But anyways, I don't think it's gonna be this like game-changing, meta-defining set, right? Where it's gonna be like, oh my god, like there's like 20 new decks we can play. But at the same time, like it's got a lot of niche decks. Like your DM stuff is there's different ways to go about it, right? Pure DM, people are gonna do like purple-based machine again. You know, you have, you know, the Omni DNA engine as well that's getting support. You have I believe Wing Guardians is getting some support too. So it's not necessarily, again, like meta-defining stuff, game-changing stuff. It's typical EX stuff, which is like, they're going to be neat stuff to play around with, neat breaths of fresh air in a meta that's been very stale over the past couple of months. So it should be, I think it should be fun. I think it should be fun if you kind of scale back.
It's funny. It's funny because I feel like I would have agreed with you in the past, but considering what like EX5, EX6,
Sure.
And EX8 have all done to the metas. Like more recently, a lot of the EX sets have actually been really impactful. EX7's been the only one that really didn't do too much. In recent times, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be anything meta defining out of the deck, or any like meta defining decks out of the set with this stuff realistically. But we do have a lot of support for things, and a lot of new like build variety and stuff like that, which will be cool to see.
Yeah. And like
did see some Megidramon stuff on Risu's stream today.
I was gonna say, Abaddon has hands. It has hands.
It was doing some things. Which makes me excited to mess around with it more, especially because I'm just in a weird sort of middle spot with my chefing on DM stuff. But yeah, so I finally do lock it on a play here. Go ahead and drop like Geel Monks. I'm like, you know what? I can't get. So we were at 20 cards exactly in trash combined. So if I would have played the Rush Geel, I wouldn't have had enough cards in trash to get Rush. And there's no way for me to sequence it to make it good. So I put myself at 18 cards in trash after pulling that out and grabbing a card back. I'm able to pitch 1 to draw 2. And then we start kind of doing our thing
here. And here I'm like, I was hoping you didn't have the Skullgrave, but the minute you started thinking about Ace Overflow, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's got the Skullgrave. That was my one concern about Darkra acing, was just like, well, if he's got Skullgrave, I think I'm just cooked. Because at that point, you would have set up trash more than enough to start doing plays. And I'm like, well, if he's got it, he's got it. If he doesn't got it, then I might be able to game you next turn. But you did end up having the Skullgrave, which I think will will basically end it because you're able to just kind of climb right back up with a rush skill, do the whole shenanigans.
So, yeah, I go here. I go ahead and I
raid.
jack raid. I shoot back up and you go ahead and scoop there.
I was like, yeah. I was
Which
like,
is fair.
it's over.
It's fair, yeah. Because I was gonna swing Megidra for 1. I'd clear security just about, and then I just spit out 2 rush skills and go for game.
Yeah. Which Megidra do Megidra things. You know, you can't really do much about it. Obviously, I think you saw it well, right? I think there's some instances where, like, if you don't see that subtle play, or you don't see that sort of like mapped out, you don't see that, right? Which, you know, I know there's been some debate just because this video was kind of short, right? Like, there's been some debate, right, where people will like to say that Megidra is very brain dead, right? And I think maybe to backtrack and clarify on my like previous statement a few vids back, where I'm like, oh, it's not very brain dead. It's, you know, you do have to see the line. I'm not saying it's like an advanced, like, ooh, this is like complex tactician play, right?
I think people took our statements from earlier and was like, it's kind of like the classic, like, do you like pancakes or waffle question? And where you say when you like one, it means you hate the other. Yeah, but that's not the actual case. We're not saying that the deck is like some advanced high level brain thing. We're just saying that, like, you have to have at least like you have to be able to string the plays. That's all we're saying. We're not saying it's anything. We're not saying anything more. Not saying anything less. You just have to be able to sequence things correctly. Because if you don't, you can put yourself in a bad spot.
Right. Because I think there's a lot of folks like to point out one certain spot, right, where like you mentioned, right, you had exactly 20 in trash. If you had played out a Guilmon, thinking, oh yeah, like let me just like kind of preemptively rush into a place, no pun intended, right? You could have actually screwed yourself. You don't think about the fact that you have 19 after you play out the rush skill. Your entire play line has changed, right? Which again, it's a subtle thing to actually count and be like, well, just count, bro. It's easy, just count. We get that, but at the same time, you have to think about it.
Yeah, it's also one thing to like say it when like watching somebody play, as opposed to when you're in the hot seat actually playing. And like if you're in like an intense match in like a regional or something like that. Right,
for sure. Which again, I mean, the deck is still very high rolly. It gambles. It has a high payoff. You know, it's what it is. It's a consistent high roll. Yeah, it's a very consistent high roll. It's got a high floor, but it's still, you still need to see the place. So that's all we wanted to say about that. Because I do think I don't want to take away from anybody who's done well with Megidra, right? Like, it's not a deck that you can just auto win with. You still have to be a good player and see stuff. But I have yapped enough about that. That is my soapbox. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, let us know what decks you want to see in EX9. We are definitely hoping to get, we're going to change up a little bit. We're going to try to get more deck profiles up a little earlier. And maybe do a little bit of something special for our members down the road. So stay tuned for that. We'll definitely keep you all updated on that shenanigan per se. So be on the lookout in the near future for it. For those of you who are members, check out the Discord. We'll be messaging you there. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for all the support, and hopefully we see you on that next video. Bye-bye.